say in Bangladesh or Myanmar, or Hindu fundamentalism in India. There are some people who promote this fundamentalism, conservatism and all. For example, Saudi Arabia, women are not allowed to go out and all these things happen. Afghanistan under Taliban's rule, again going to fundamentalism. They are not giving priority for women rights. So globalization is actually leading to fundamentalism coming up. But again, that is a debatable thing. Again, that's a debatable thing. You can think all in other directions also. One more question is,
in which nationalism is also
no. Nationalism, fundamentalism. But what kind of ideology? It's not religious. Maybe, see, they're not having some identity. Their identity is they should have a classless society. They should have equal society. They should have a society where everyone is treated equal, have good standard of living and all. So maybe you can't say it completely fundamentalism. Fundamentalism is more of towards conservatism, religious, maybe caste also, identity based. But Nationalism and all, they talk about exploitation. They talk about exploitation. So we may not completely call Nationalism as fundamental, at least to my understanding.
Terrorism is the result of fundamentalism.
Yes. Islamic terrorism, Islamic fundamentalism, how to promote my culture, I'll kill Americans. Yes or no? I'll kill whatever American symbol is. W Trade Center was collapsed. Why? The symbol of American hegemony. It's a symbol of American supremacy, the symbol of westernization, the symbol of globalization. Globalization is again led by Western countries at that point of time. That's why I have hit this W Trade Center. So I want to go away from westernization and establish my rule in the world. How can that happen? Means different ways, using violence, terrorism. So terrorism is a manifestation of, you can say, this fundamentalism. You know what is the concept of nation state? Nation state. I'll just tell you one minute. Nation state is again concept which talks about the cultural and legal boundaries coexist. For example, nation state. India is a nation state. Germany. In Germany, you see people speak German, they follow certain pattern of culture. People following certain pattern of culture living in a political entity called as state. Nation is a cultural concept, cultural boundaries. State is a political concept, citizens. Now, people following certain same culture are citizens of a state. That concept is called as nation state. For example, Tamil speaking people living in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu itself is a nation state in India. Or you can say Sinhalese versus Tamil people. They want only Sinhalese in Sri Lanka. They don't want Tamilians. Tamilians want to establish their own nation state. Yes or no? You know that, right? So that's what nation state is. Nation is a cultural concept where people having similar or you can say same set of cultural affinity living together forms a nation. India is a nation. Even though we speak different languages, there is a nationalism called as Indianness. We have similar set of mindset, similar set of cuisines, almost similar set of dances. So even though we can say India is not a nation state, some people say, but I say India is a nation state because we have Indianness together. The bond which bonds or binds Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, Hindi is Indianness. So that's why India is a nation state. This nation state itself is a Western concept again. German speaking people living in Germany, French speaking people living in France, English speaking people living in some countries. Like this, they have come up with this concept of nation state. We have applied this nation state concept to India also. India, again, that's why I'm saying it's a debatable thing whether India is actually a nation state means some people say no, it's not a nation state, it's a nation of nations. Because India has different cultures coexisting in a single political entity. That's why I don't call India as a nation. It's a nation of nations. For example, Ambedkar says India is a nation of nations. Why do you say India is a nation state? If you are telling nation state, I am trying to homogenize. I should give importance to heterogeneity. That's a debatable thing. But the question is, the nation state, if you see, this is a very, very important question which can be given. Nation state. There are 4 elements of nation state. People living in some territory, people Government should be there. These are the four elements of nation state. People, group of people living in a territory managed by a government which is having sovereignty or which is sovereign. So in this definition, India is a nation state. India has a political boundary, group of people, 1.2 billion people living in territory, geographical territory, having a government which is sovereign. That's a nation state. Now tell me, what's happening because of globalization? All these parameters are getting affected. Yes or no? Globalization is outward looking. Nation state is inward looking. Nationalism is inward looking. You and me are Indians. We have a bond. But now this bond is diluting. We are going to America. Many people are going to America, different countries, becoming NRIs and all. But still they say they are Indians. They also owe their allegiance to foreign countries. For example, most of the NRIs, they say I am an Indian by birth, but I am American by heart. Yes or no? People say this. That's what you can say. Nation state is depends on nationalism. The stronger the nationalism, the stronger the nation state. Because these people should have bond. Then only nation state become strong. So why India is not so strong than America? Because we don't have that kind of nationalism. Americans have very strong nationalism. But Indians, allegiance to what? Indians have allegiance to my caste, my religion, my village. Yes or no? No one says, check the India, you know. You are from Gujarat, you are from Tamil Nadu, but she says, I am from India. That kind of bond is still lacking in India, but definitely it is rising. India is nation in the making. India is nation in the making. That's what. It's Indian nation movement. Moderates can. India is nation in the making. The Indian nationalism is rising up. The last 10-15 years, elections are happening on Pulwama. Yes or no? There are lots of things happening. So nationalism is one such electoral bite. So nationalism is rising up. Many countries, but globalization is outward looking. Nationalism is inward looking. Nationalism is the base of nation state. So how do globalization impact nation state? This is one question which will definitely be given in. I think this has been given in one of the UPSC essay paper. How globalization is impacting nation state? Is it impacting our government? Yes or no? I want to give MSP to farmers. I want to give MSP as recommended by MS Swaminathan, telling that MSP should be C2. C2 means, you know, comprehensive cost. Today we are not giving comprehensive cost of MSP. That means whatever farmer is incurring, say 100 rupees for the cost of cultivation of paddy, I should give 200 rupees, or say, sorry, 100 rupees as MSP, at least minimum support price. But I am giving only 65-70 rupees. What is stopping me is international agreements. Agreement on agriculture under WTO. Now, as an independent country, as a sovereign country, I could not take a decision. Why? Because I am bounded by international agreements. That means my sovereignty on agriculture is declined or increased. So we are international citizen. India is an international member. It's a member of United Nations. It's a member of WTO. Now, because of these international commitments, I can't take some policies. That means India has lost its sovereignty. Not only India, every country has lost its sovereignty in some form. But I will tell the other side also. India or any country or nation state has lost its relevance or lost its sovereignty in some issues. For example, can India alone tackle terrorism? If I hit terrorists here, they will go and take safe havens in Afghanistan, Myanmar. That means there is a need for international cooperation. Again, there is challenge on our sovereignty. So India cannot challenge or India cannot solve most of the problems. Global warming, terrorism, COVID pandemic. Can I solve alone? No, definitely not. That means my sovereignty or my independence of making policies has got diluted because we are living in a global world.
So, can we see that globalization is leading to brain?
Exactly, that's what people. If I take, that's what I told. Every aspect is getting diluted. I'm talking about government and sovereignty. You can talk about, say, people. Can you stop India going to America? You can't at all. You can't stop at all. Why? Because it's his freedom. That means You can't definitely say that India has 1.2 billion population today. Maybe tomorrow they feel that I want to go to America or US or some other country. We can go. Because we don't have control over our people also. But people who are coming inside we can control, but people who are going outside, then it is impacting the major part of our element of our nation state. So definitely we can say globalization is impacting people, government, sovereignty, territory. Oh,
Demand for service.
hmm, very good. Now,
Colonization is
Khalistan happened, Nagas, Greater Naga, because of greater awareness of rights, or can say greater democratization in the world. I want my nation state, Tamil, for example, Tamil speak, Tamil, you can say Simhalese versus Tamil. So there are lots of things happening even in Europe also. You can see this kind of fundamentalists, or can say this territory is again very emotional concept because I don't want to give an inch of land. But still, India, Bangladesh went for an agreement for land exchange around the world. That means what? In the name of international cooperation, I'm going for diluting these things. So, nation state as a concept, the four elements got diluted because of globalization. Independence of a nation.